I'd have to be careful, because whenever I had animals as a child, I always loved them a little bit too much. There's a name for people like me, it's a hamster squeezer. Look at his little face. When I was about 7, I had a little dog and I loved it so much. Have you ever stroked a dog so hard you could see the whites of its eyes? Then when you stroke along its back, its little back legs buckle because of the pressure. I do worry about my boyfriend. Because I love him so much. Love him so much. No. Look at his little face. Is Spunk supposed to be red? No. That's a great reaction. The women are laughing and the blokes are going, don't do that, that's not fucking funny. Now is probably quite a good time to tell you that I'm a lot ruder than I am on the telly. So brace yourselves. I said to my husband, I said, horses do more than you. He said, what? I said, horses do more than you. It's true, I've got a friend, she's got a horse. Her horse has a special lady who comes out just to wash his knob. I mean, how do you get into that? And by that, I don't mean, how do you get into that? Also, how at the end of your tether as a careers advisor are you before you slam shut your folder and go, how are you a horse's cocks? It's done for medical reasons, it's done for health reasons. They do it because they have to clear out what are called smeg beans, which are exactly what you think they are. But don't they also sound a little bit like something you could get from IKEA? I only went in for a nest of tables, came out with a massive bag of smeg beans. I was trying to explain to my husband what they were, and I sort of nervously Googled it. You know, Google has a habit of finishing the rest of the search for you. And I typed in smeg beans, and Google went, smeg beans grinder. And I was like, how bad are they? Like, you have to grind them off. And then I realised it's a posh coffee machine, isn't it? Smeg beans grinder. Oh. Also explains why John Lewis had it in 4 different colours. I did a preview in a place called Preston. Are we aware of Preston? I parked my car. I don't know if this is a good indication of what people are like in Preston, but I parked my car outside of the venue, and as I walked into the venue, a man offered me anal sex. So I was late. I was going to say I'll tell you a bit about me, but I think I just have. It's lovely to be here, though. It's a nice temperature in here, isn't it? We'll get warmer as we go on, obviously, the lights and whatnot. I respond in quite a peculiar way to the heat, I think, mostly sort of here. I realised I aimed that just at you guys in the front there, didn't I? Sorry about that. Hey, upstairs can have a go. There you go. Down there gets what I call claggy. Anybody else got a good word for that? Anybody else? Moist. Who said moist? Moist is a good word. What was that one? Sticky. Oh, there was a lady the other day said, what you've got there is LDF. I said, what does LDF stand for? She said, long day Fanny. When I said claggy in Preston, a man said, oh no, we call that ready. But what I do when it gets moist and sticky, I just do a plie. I'm not a massive ballet dancer, but if I was a ballet dancer, I would clearly be a massive one. I just do that. You only get a couple of seconds relief because it mostly just slicks back together. I did a show in Edinburgh and a lady at the back of the room shouted out, you need to use some talc. And I thought, surely that just forms a paste. What else do we do to relax? Let's get people shouting out.
Self-gratification.
Okay, do you just tell yourself you're brilliant or do you have a wank? Because I did a show I did a show in Birmingham, and I asked a man there how he relaxed when he got in from work, and he said one word. The beginning of the word sounded really happy, and midway through the word it just changed and sounded desperately sad. I said, how do you relax when you get in from work? And he went, masturbation. I don't find that very relaxing. Am I sharing too much? I don't find masturbation very relaxing because I'm a bugger for multitasking. I've been known to put my tash cream on and go, I've got 5 minutes, I'll have a quick. You make sure you don't mix your hands up, though. And you know what? You get it done on time, because if you don't, you can smell burning flesh. And some people are genuinely appalled by that. And other people are going, that's a really good idea. I've got a bit of pop trivia for you. You might not know this. You know Rihanna? You know Rihanna? Yeah. She has insured her legs for $1 million. And I don't really know why, because I'm pretty sure she's a singer. Yes? Yes, thank you. And I'm almost certain you can do that sitting down. I mean, her legs aren't proper anyway. They don't meet at the top or anything. My mum would say about her, she couldn't stop a pig in an alleyway. Just for the record, I could totally stop a pig in an alleyway. Stop it, stun it, put it in my freezer. I tried to start a new euphemism recently. I don't know if you've ever tried to start a new euphemism. It's quite tricky. This one's not going particularly well. I'll tell you anyway. The euphemism is this. I see there's some leftover pie in the fridge. Which is a euphemism for cunnilingus. There was a few people are explaining cunnilingus to each other. I was trying to think of a mime that I could do, but the only one I could think of was this. But I see there's some leftover pie in the fridge. Doesn't really work with my fella, because he's generally a very hungry man. As soon as he realises that there's no actual pie in the fridge, a light goes out in his eyes. I did the show in Stockton, and there was a lady at the front saying, I use that euphemism, and I thought, you bugger, it's spreading like wildfire. She said she's put her own sort of spin on it. She says, I see there's some leftover corned beef pie in the fridge. No. If I'm ever going to refer to me nunny as the food stuff, it's not going to be corned beef. Probably something like Arctic roll. Cold to the touch with a bit of old cake round. I can't quite work out if I've turned you off Arctic roll or just my vagina. Are you an eager beaver or a late bloomer? If you're a late bloomer like me, then my new show is just for you. Late Bloomer is available now to stream and download from my website, sarahmillican.co.uk.